Good morning. Are you ready to be poked by me? I don't know if I'm ready to poke. I mean, I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm here to poke you. Spring is coming. That's a pretty big poke. I can feel it. I can see it. And I mean, I still have a ton of snow here in Vermont, but you can see the bigger weather shifts from freezing to melting, freezing to melting. I kind of understand the Lord of the Rings a little bit better living where I live, because I basically have this like massive plot of empty trees, stick season here in Vermont, and it's all I see. I don't see houses, I don't see people, I don't see cars, I don't see planes, I don't see anything but trees. And in the wintertime I see snow, and in the spring and summertime I see mostly green. And that's it. I sort of live like on a state park or something. Like, my backyard is ridiculous. It's awesome. But I kind of get Lord of the Rings when I'm looking at the trees for so long, because I've been here for about 6 months, and the trees really start to look like people. Like, you almost think that they're going to start talking, like, or like they are, like they're moving their arms. They have like personalities and characters. It's really interesting because they don't move exactly, but they do. You can see it. I don't know. It's a weird thing. maybe the country is just affecting my brain. But yeah, these trees are gonna explode. Like, I was here last year. I got here last year on March 18th. It was quite a journey from Alaska that day. Yeah, quite a journey with my kiddo. We lost a backpack that had a Nintendo Switch in it and some clothing items that were important to me. We got it back, totally intact. Amazing. But we were here last year when spring hit, and it was like a bomb. Like, I can only describe it as like a spring bomb. It just like explodes. Like, all of a sudden everything just boom. It's not gradual. Vermont's amazing that way. Most people I know haven't been to Vermont. I had never been to Vermont until I moved here. It's definitely a special place. It's a hard place to find your place, because Vermont is made up of pretty much all tiny little towns, and everything's very well established. There's not a lot of new construction. I think definitely by like design. You know, the people up here are trying to keep it the way it is, and also the winters are like long. I don't really think it's too big of a deal, but I say that as we're coming out of winter. I don't know. It might take another winter before I know. We'll see if I'm here next winter. But yeah, Vermont's like a portal. It's weird. And the summertime is like unreal. It's like being in an 80s movie. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but that's like the clothes people wear, the things that are happening. Just, I don't know. It's all couples though. Oh my God. As a single person, holy crap. It's just like all couples all the time, all day, all night. It's the coupling state. It's like the way Portland was the poly state. Portland is all about poly. The dating apps in Portland, everybody ethically non-monogamous. Ethically non-monogamous. Here, everybody's just paired up. It's like ordained. I definitely stand out. If there is a man standing by himself within, like, I don't know, 50 feet, guaranteed if I show up within 3 seconds, there is a woman right there next to him. Like, 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 alert, alarms. Man by himself, don't let it happen. It's fine. I'm too old. I'm giving up. I'm done. Really. The world's too fucked up. Nobody gives a shit anymore. You know, it's fine. We don't need to talk about it. My coffee was disappointing this morning. It was a little bit gross. I got to the bottom and all my collagen had like rested, and so I took a mouthful of collagen that tasted coffee-like. I'm not gonna tell you what I think about that. I'm going to keep that to myself. That is not good morning talk. But anyway, that was my coffee experience. I'm looking at the trees. They're talking to me. It's the Lord of the Rings this morning. No, I did not take anything. I don't know what's happening. My kid is way too smart. Like, I raised a really smart kid, like an emotionally aware smart kid. Like, I can pull no bullshit on him. He needs to work on not talking back. He needs to learn on, like, understanding the art of conversation and argument when you're right, and, like, because then he's wrong, right? Because it's like his attitude, that's mainly the thing. But dude, the guy is so smart, and he's excited for summer. He wasn't really here for most of the summer last year at all, so he's really excited about it. His bestie's here, so yeah. I was thinking a little bit about making money today, and, like, listen, I made a little bit of money for a little bit of time in Portland. Like, I was able to kind of get back on my feet with my practice, but it wasn't sustainable. It was like a little stroke of luck. It gave me a little boost. Like, it definitely showed me, right, like, I'm capable and all that, which I already knew. I didn't need that, but it did do that. But for the bulk of the last 5 years, since March of 2020, I really haven't made any money. First time since I was 11 years old. And I'm super able still. I proved that to myself this summer. I got a job at, like, this massive hospital here. I got to go right into patient rooms. Like, it was an incredible opportunity. Shitty fucking job. Shitty fucking administration. Like most hospitals. Broken. Like, so broken. I feel so lucky. I feel like I got that job for a reason. Just to be able to go inside of a hospital today, right now, post-COVID world, look at healthcare workers, listen to what they're saying, look at patients, look at patient care, look at what's happening, listen to what nurses are saying. I did all of that. I was a part of it. It was crazy. But it couldn't last because they will not accommodate someone like me that doesn't have family help with a kid. Like, they can't do it. It's just not set up, and there's no room, and they don't give a shit. And that's okay. That's the way of the world. That's the way it is. And that job didn't pay well. Like, it would have diminished my ability to take care of my kid. It would have hurt my body. Like, it wasn't sustainable on any level. But I tried. And, you know, I think what I've proved to myself at this point is that, you know, I'm willing to do anything, including get on the internet and talk a bunch of shit about Chinese medicine and whatever, my life, and try to offer something to help people. Like, I'll do whatever. But this idea about money at this point, I'm going to be really honest with you. Money is needed, right? Like, we're not living in this beautiful place for free, you know. People who care about us and our well-being are making sure that we're taken care of. But man, sometimes in life, like, you know, whatever it is that you think I'm capable of working, I'm capable of everything, every fucking thing. And I proved that to myself. That's how I got to this point. I proved that to myself this summer. Not that I needed to prove it to myself, but once again, I did. And so what I know is that it's not a lack of will or interest or know-how or personality or attitude or, you know, I'm perfectly capable of doing what needs to be done to make money. The problem is the rest of life is not set up to support me in that. And by the rest of life, I mean everything. Like, our whole fucking society. It's really, after 5 years of it, oof, I do not live in fear. I let go, I release, and I accept. So I face adversities. I face what everybody else faces. But I think one of the biggest differences I see in most people that I know, it's not that I don't get scared. It's not that I don't get sad. It's not that I don't ever worry. Those things exist for me, but it's sort of a flip. Like they're very little. I've gotten really good at letting go, and it's not a cop out. Letting go is not easy. But it does help when things are too heavy, you know, to just put things down because you can't control it. So I'm at this place where, like, yeah, all this stuff seems to be happening outside. Like, I see people send me videos, and like, I can't watch more than a few seconds because I know what's going on. I know because I've been living it day to day, every fucking day, pretty much totally on my own, for 5 years. My perspective is different. I think one of the things for me too, and I don't know why, maybe because my mom was a teacher, when I look at history and the things that I've learned, the things that I've read about, the pictures I've seen, the movies I've taken in, the first person narratives I've heard, for some reason this guy who came to my high school who's a Vietnam vet comes to mind. The guy was messed up. I love that they let him come talk to us. History just is alive for me, and I see it in what we're living now. We're just repeating cycles, like some of them very old, some of them not so old. Just a lot of unresolved stuff that we haven't dealt with as a culture. And it's funny how people think that when time passes, that somehow that's going to resolve things. I think it can. I think time can heal some things. But time does not heal what is left infected or with pieces inside of it. It is still inflamed. It's not healed. It still has to heal, and a healing process is painful and takes time. So as I say this, I'm thinking about history. I'm thinking about the history of this country. I'm thinking about the genocide that's been committed here. I'm thinking about the torture of human beings that's been committed here, and how that reverberates out through our day-to-day, and we think it's over. To the point that some people actually deny it, right? I think about families, and I think about the horrible, awful, evil, cruel, unnecessary, horrible things that we do to each other within families, sometimes within my family for sure. And that people think it's just going to go away with time. We have a lot to heal in this country, and our country's illnesses are our family illnesses. We live in a really fucked up, sick society, and I'm sorry to take it here today. I don't know why, but I think it's because everybody's freaking out. Everybody's freaking out about this thing and that thing. Yep. I saw a clip of a woman saying, I tend to agree with black women a lot. The things that black women say, black women get it, because I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to speak for them. Okay, go listen to them. But it was a black woman who said it, and she said, this is what happens when you build a society on rot. You don't get to redo the base with everything on top. The base is the base. It's going to collapse from rot. So, you know, I just see it in the big picture, and I see that no one's going to be able to predict what's going to happen. We are actively a part of it, whether you accept it or not. I still see people who don't accept it. I still see people who distance themselves and say, well, no, I have to live my life. Well, keep living your life. It's going to invade you. It's going to invade your life because you are a part of the society, whether you like it or not. You do have to show up to do this work one way or the other, whether you like it or not. If that means that you're complicit and compliant, if that means that you keep your mouth shut and you do nothing, okay, then that's going to be your part. And we all have to play our part. And then there will be those of us who wake up, finally, and take some responsibility and ownership for our own lives and our own things to heal and to do. And then there are other people who do all kinds of other things. And I don't know, I changed my life back in 2007, not by accident. I changed it because of a lot of the stuff that I had lived through and experienced as a child, and then as a young woman out on my own in the world, and working in corporate America, and having gone to school and studied my culture deeply, historically, legally, socially, and got to know a lot of different people from all over the world. Very lucky, but also luck is preparation meets opportunity, right? Like, I showed up and I did the work. And I didn't know that that's what I was doing, but I was. And I was changing my life, and I was changing my future. And all of the things that went into that, and then my job. And I woke up, man. And I'm excited to see everybody else waking up. And I know it's scaring the shit out of people. I don't know, because I'm seeing it firsthand. I'm not. I'm staring at trees. And my life is the Lord of the Rings. But I feel it. And I see it in the texts that I get. I see it in the videos that people send. And I can relate. I can relate to the fear. I can relate to the upset. I can relate to the overwhelm, because that's how I felt throughout most of my 20s. And a couple years into my 30s, until I finally changed my life, really changed my life. You know, nobody applauds you generally for the amazing things that you do, the truly amazing things. And for me, switching from a corporate life as a Midwestern girl into the world of Chinese medicine that I knew nothing about, and I felt I didn't belong, but I knew that I had to do it. I did it, you know, and it changed everything about my life. That one choice changed everything about everything. It brought me closer to who I am, and that is changing the world. That is activism in a way that I'd never participated in it before. Before, it was in my mind, it was in my relationships, it was in school, it was, you know, in everyday choices. But this was a radical shift inside of myself. This was a greater honesty with myself. This was living in more truth. This was being awake to everything, and making literally even my actions and work every day that I did about being true and being present and showing up and helping and healing, even when that means doing and saying hard things, which I still have to do within my work, right? I have to confront patients sometimes. I have to tell people really hard things. That's my job. I fucking love it. And if that doesn't change a vibration in the world, to change an entire human hue and color and shape and sound, it does. So, you know, through the fear, I just want to be one voice to say, you can change how you see things. It doesn't mean that you don't have to be afraid. It doesn't mean that you don't have to be sad or grieve. Like, that's all I've done for 5 years is practice that stuff. It's crazy, the circus that I've been put through, but I've survived it. I've learned a fucking ton. And to be here in this moment as all this is happening around me, and I'm sitting here staring at trees and snow and mountains, and I'm just surrounded by nature and nothing but peace, and the world around is like, I don't know, man. It's like the spoon, right? Don't try to bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, remember that the spoon doesn't exist. I don't know. That's my ramble. I gotta get into my computer so I can shut this off and stop talking. I don't know what I said. Good luck with that. Have a great morning. I hope you liked getting poked.